going to be doing is making floral wall art. I've been doing it for a while and it's super easy. You can find a lot of the petals and stuff like that and leaves that you want, like right on Google search or Pinterest or wherever. So I like to use cardstock because it is super thick and more sturdy, but you can use whatever you want, really. You can use whatever kind of paper you want. You could use like that foam stuff that's like flat like paper, but it's foam. So really whatever you have. If you have like regular printer paper, you can use that too. And you can cut them out by hand if you just like draw your own by using like a template or something, or you can cut them out if you have a Cricut machine like I do. Makes it a lot quicker and easier. So I'm going to be using that, and you'll be able to see what kind of petals that I am using. I could also share these petals in particular I made myself in Cricut, like online. It's like an app. So there's a Cricut app. You can go on and you can kind of create your own templates with that. So that's what I did, because I could never find any without having to purchase them. And one of the best things that I'm like best at is finding things for free. So if there's some way around it, I will find that way. So I try to save as much paper as I can, so I have some like this, and like I'll only put a couple on there. So even if you don't have a Cricut, you can get the app and you can create your own petals if you want to. And then just do like a screenshot, print it out, whatever. I have two like this that I have where I fold them over like that. All four of them. And then I curl them inward. And I do that with two like this. Then I have 8 smaller ones that are a size up that also get curled inward. And then I have 4 more sizes up, each one moving up in size by about 1/2 inch. I do 0.4 or 0.5 of an inch up in size. So 5 in total. The smallest one that goes after these ones, which are also about 1/2 inch up in size. You want to have 8 of those, and then 6 up again, about 1/2 inch, 6 up again about 1/2 inch, 6 up again about 1/2 inch, and 6 up again about 1/2 inch. So you've got 5 sizes aside from this that you've gone up. The smallest one above those 2 centerpieces, you want to have 8 of. The rest of them, you can have 6. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut all of them except for the 8 smallest ones up in size from the centers. So those 8 don't get cut. But all the ones that have 6 do. I'm just going to cut them right up to that point right there where it like starts to go up in your petal. So it should be pretty easy on where you see that you need to stop cutting. Just a little bit, right up to where it dips upward. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut all of them like that, except for the 8 3.1s. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut the 6 3.5s, the 6 3.9s, the like to use the like high heat because I feel like it high heat glue gun because I feel like it just works much better in holding. Okay, just had to make sure it was hot. In holding, you know, the petals together because there's only so much of a thing, and even then sometimes it doesn't really hold stuff. It's supposed to be the best. Alright, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to glue these. And the way that I'm going to glue these, and remember though, I'm not going to glue the smaller ones that there is 8 of. And this should be a 3.1 in size, or 3.0. I don't glue those 8. I only glue the 3.5. I don't know why I'm saying 3.1. I'm so sorry. Okay. So 4.5, 4.1, 3.7, 3.3, I believe it is. Yeah. So I'm going to glue those. I don't glue the 8 of the 2.9s. I don't glue those. My guinea pig is sleeping. I just look over and she looks super cute. Alright, so I want to show you how I glue those just real quick. Starting with the largest. And now, these ones you want the petals to be facing like backward. So you take where you cut it right there and you crisscross them like that. So that your petal is going to be like this. And you glue it down, making a cup. When you glue it down like that, that it's like upward. So crisscrossing them with the petals facing backward. You can see how when I crisscross them, it makes it kind of move upward. So I'm just going to glue that, and I'm going to glue it where this bottom corner is touching right on the edge. Let's do that real quick. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So it should look like that. The petals facing outward. That is like at a tilt like that. And then those biggest ones are going to be the first ones that we glue onto our hexagon. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to glue all those just like that, and I'll be back. Alright, so I can't tell if this is too bright or what, because I added some more lighting. So, anyways, check out my cool little hat ornament that I made. Really cool. It's cut like a toilet paper roll, and you tie the yarn around it, and then you push it the opposite way through. And then if you know how to make tassels, you kind of tie it off like a tassel and then trim it. You got a little hat ornament. You can put a string through the top of it right here and hang it on your tree. Pretty cute. Stick that somewhere. Alright, so we're going to glue this together, starting with the biggest one. And what we're going to do is we're going to place it onto the hexagon. And if you can see right here, where you've got the line from where you cut it and glued it, that's where you want to place it onto the hexagon too. So I usually glue it on to where it's just like that. And maybe you can see that just over the edge of it. And on the front of it, it's like that. So, or where it's meeting up perfectly with the hexagon. That's, I guess, up to you. I think I usually like to, make sure it's just meeting up perfectly. So you don't want to glue too much, not only because the glue itself can undo your other glue that's attached to the petal and make it come undone, but you also want to make sure that you're not having it oozing out. So I'm just going to quickly do that so that it doesn't come undone by the time I get it on there. And so as you can see, it's lifted upward.
There's something.
So I'm just going through right now, and I'm going to glue them around the same way, overlapping one another like that, until I get to the last one, and then I'll explain to you how I do that one. And underlapping the first. So overlapping the one that you just did, underlapping the one that you first did. So that way they're all doing the same thing all the way around. So it should look like that. And all the way around. And it will come together. Alright, so the next one, so you know where you're going to place it, they're going to go in between the ones that you just did. So you're doing it like that. And they're going to go literally just below the ones that you just created. Literally almost lining up with them, but slightly lower. So I'll put one on and then I'll show you what it should look like. These ones I do more of the glue on there, but I gotta do it quick. That way it doesn't come apart, but I put more glue on it, it's more likely to. So it should, right here, I don't know if my light is causing you to not see it, it should be lining up just below, right in between the two petals. And you're going to do that all the way around, same thing until you get to the last one, and then the last one is going to be not just overlapping, but underlapping the first one that you set of that size. So I'm going to go through, do those, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's what
Sock.
you're hearing. Sock. Okay. It's okay that it doesn't look exactly like I want it to right now. But you can always like rip them off and push them back a little bit forward.
Fun.
I'm not going to do that though. But what I am going to do is make these real quick. Stop doing that. So I know where or when to place them.
Tile.
Tile. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm going, the way I do it, and I guess everybody does this differently, but I find this the easiest way, is I'm going to make a rosebud by connecting that first one in with itself. Another way that you can do it is take the two across from one another.
Debbie.
Debbie, I don't know who Debbie is. And you can put them in with one another like that, but I find it better to do it like this. To do the one.
Mom,
Tissue.
Sorry about that. Alright, so I got
Slow.
it like this. Slow.
Mountain.
Mountain. Ooh, what a spirit scanner. Let's see. I had it on Ghost Speak. Ghost Tracker. Send your location anonymously to the spirit scanner server wherever that it detects a spiritual presence. It also allows you to view a map of recent detections across the globe. Do you want to enable it? Send your location to the spirit scanner server? No. Huh. Spirit scanner sucks. Okay. So anyway, going back. So just take one and just glue it like that. And then you're going to take the one across from it and you're going to glue that one the same way but around it. Like same, just like
Forgive.
That. Forgive.
Glove.
Glove. What's my name?
Sled.
Oh my goodness. What is my name? What's my name?
Touch. Candle.
What's your name? I can safely say there's no spirits in my house. Okay, so with this one,
Golf.
I am going to glue them like this around it if I can. You can also do
Table.
like this. So you can do that a couple different ways. I'm not sure yet what I want to do. It may work better if I do it like that, I guess. So I'm going to glue both sides right here.
Hat.
Yes, I am wearing a hat.
Woman.
Yeah, okay. What about
Clouds.
clouds? And then I'm going to glue the other one like that.
Time.
So we can create a rosebud. Same thing, I'm going to glue like this. And so I kind of just do however like I
Line.
feel like it's, you know, working best for me. So it should be lined up perfectly within that square. You can either start this way like that, but what I'm going to do is start this way like that.
Fair.
Lined up with that side. The last side opposite to the one that I just created. And I'll be right back. Just trying to make positive with that one. 1, 2. Okay. So The next 4 you do the same way, and then the last 4 of the small ones in this size out of the 8 will be going on the corners. So these ones right now are going the same exact way that we just did these. So what you do is you just glue those onto the bottom like so. Make sure that they're centered. As best as they can. And you're just gluing those on there like that. I usually do the first 2 and then the second 2 of this set. You can, however, put all 4 of them on. I just prefer not to. So I'm going to do these 2 first. Make sure that they're lined up with that opposite side of the ones that you did last. And glue stick. So what we're doing is we're just continuing with our rosebud to make it larger. And then you're going to take the next 2, make those go in the opposite direction. Make sure they're facing, going inward. Gluing just like the end of it. Oops. And if you're not sure, you can always just kind of make sure it's going where you want it to go. Like so. Again, make sure it is facing inward and hugging to it. What we're gluing is just these parts where it's curled over to where it's going to touch when you hug it to the next piece. Again, make sure it is facing opposite to the ones that you just did. look like the center of a rose. Alright, so now what we're going to do differently.
Mom.
Alright, and so now the next ones, we're also still going to continue to go inward, like hugging to it, but instead of going like opposite, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the corners. It doesn't really make a difference which one you do first. So you're going to place that right on the corner of it versus on the sides. Like if we were to go on the side, we would go right there. But we're not. We're going to work on the corners of these. So that's what I'm gluing now. And I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing and do 2 and then the other 2 because it just comes out better. It's easier. They don't get in your way. And where it should be lined up is like kind of like right in between. It should come up to right in between the 2 on the corner. And this one's going to be a little bit harder to get it to like stay on. I'm just going to show one to you before I do the other 2. So this is your center, and inevitably it's what makes it look like a rose. So we still have to add 2 different size petals, so long as it works right. Sometimes you don't need to do 4, sometimes you only need 3, so we'll find out. And then you place that right in the center, and voila, you've got a rose. So we're going to finish putting this together real quick. We're going to start by gluing in the next size up. We've got 2 of the larger sizes done already. And you're just going to continue to place them right in between, lined up with the bottoms of the ones that you just did pretty much. Oh, hold on. Oopsie. Good thing I caught that before it fully dried. The guinea pig is squeaking at me because I'm making noise. Kind of misplaced the second row. Yep, beautiful. Fits in there perfect. And now as far as like where you're going to put it in there, just make sure you can see it. We're going to make sure that it lines up like with, I want to say like, not the very outer one, but the one next to it. But you want to make sure it's, well, at least those 4 are lined up in between. Just right. So let's see. And they're not going to line up perfectly because there's 4 of these and 6 of the other ones. So, yeah. Just the best that you think it looks and sits. And I think right there is going to do it. Make sure that you glue that center in really good and hold it there for a bit. So far, so good. Isn't it a beauty? Beautiful, beautiful rose. And then you can just stick some mounting tape up that you can get from Walmart and pop it right on your wall. And voila. You can also cut out leaves that you can find on Pinterest and whatnot. Hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good night.